boy. Oh, a lot. which I would like to never come on here to the studio again, unforced arbitration. And another company going down the road to take away your ability to hold accountable because of the fuck out of it. Because for me, I screw you over that. It's not loud enough. So this comes from this was the recipe. The channel is the envelope. I need to phone unlock. And as you can see, circle down here, by clicking confirm purchase, you agree to the Google Store sales terms, including the arbitration clause, meaning any dispute related to your device and / or subscriptions purchased from the Google Store will be resolved through binding arbitration on an individual, non-class basis. What this means is that you cannot go to court and do a class action lawsuit against them to get damages and, more importantly, hold them accountable if they produce a faulty or defective device and refuse to help you under the warranty terms of the product. And this is something that's been very common. You may, and I know what some of you are thinking, like, you're not going to sue Google. It's like, let's be real, you're not going to win. What makes you think you're going to sue Google? Do you really think normal people are going to actually go and sue Google? Why don't you just sign the terms and just deal with more and more of your rights being signed away with each passing day? And you're right. You're right. The average person watching this is not going to sue Google. That's not going to happen. Large law firms do. And I know what you're thinking. Listen, class actions are a scam. I don't need another 68-cent check on my refrigerator because Capital One forgot to put something in their terms of service. I feel the same sense of cynicism over the several 68-cent to $3 checks that are on my refrigerator right now. They are literally not worth the time for me to log into my banking app and take a picture of them to deposit them. I do not care about a check for 68 cents. It wasn't worth the postage that they used to get it to me. The problem is that when you take away their ability to do a class action lawsuit, you also take away the ability to hold the company accountable. And again, it's not about the 68-cent check, it's about holding them accountable. So there's a video that I did on this channel many years ago, The Horrible Truth About Apple's Repeated Engineering Failures. And in this video, I leave timestamps to all the different problems and I provide citations for the problems. Many of these were problems that I fixed on this channel. Some of them they admitted to eventually and would cover the customer for free, and some of them they did not. If you look at archive.org at some of the links that I provided there, you'll see a number of these programs. You have the iPhone 6 Plus, which had Touch IC problems. The Touch IC would come off the board and there would be a trace that would get damaged under it. Jessa Jones and Jesse Cruz have a lot of videos going over how to fix this, and this is something that they wound up covering over this program. Instead of having to pay $350 to $400 to get the device replaced, you could have it fixed for $149. To be clear, $149 is not free, which is what it should have been because it was a faulty design that they knew about, and I will include a link to this entire thing down below. They were very aware of this problem, but it is better than $350. You have iPhone 7s that had problem with their baseband, where there would be no service out of nowhere, and they were actually covering this for free. You had the MacBook Pro video issue. This was a class action lawsuit for the MacBook Pros from 2011 that had 820-2914 and 820-2915 motherboards that would have a scrambled screen, a blank screen, or just wouldn't boot into the operating system. Apple is charging customers over $600 to replace the motherboard in these devices until a class action lawsuit held them accountable. And again, it's not about getting the 68-cent check on your refrigerator. It's about spending $3,000 on a computer, and when that thing breaks in 2 years, being able to get it fixed for free rather than $600. The same thing happened with the keyboards on the devices that use butterfly keyboards. These keyboards were absolute garbage, and for a long time, Apple would bill you over $300 to $400 to replace your keyboard if you had a problem with it, even if there was no liquid damage. After a class action lawsuit, they were held accountable, and as you can see here, they were servicing these products for free. And there are a number of different examples of this happening with a company that's worth over $3 trillion. The class action lawsuit, your ability to take them to court, allows them to be held accountable, and more importantly, allows you to be compensated not through the 68-cent check. Fuck the 68-cent check and fuck the lawyers that go home with $20 million paydays while you get the 68-cent check. It's about the company being held accountable so that you actually get a usable warranty. Now, Google is doing this with the Pixel, a company that has created phones that randomly boot loop, a company that has created phones where green streaks randomly appear, and I shit you not, they claim that this is something that can be fixed in a software upgrade. It says over here, can someone explain to me how a green tinted screen can be fixed via software? Inquiring minds would like to know. And somebody made the comment here, I think the solution is to desaturate the green in the graphics settings to allow the colors to be equally shit. that somebody said you need a promotion. But in all seriousness, many people have a problem with a green line on this phone. And if you purchase the 512 gigabyte or the 1 terabyte version, you can easily spend more than $1,000 on this phone that not only has an issue where it has horrible service compared to every competitor, but it also has just a screen that winds up becoming fundamentally unusable, and it works worse than a $90 Android phone. The class action lawsuit would be a vehicle by which customers who have been screwed over by Google, who are not being treated properly, could demand satisfaction. If they're not covering this under warranty, or they continue to replace the phones with faulty phones, this would allow the end user to get their money back. This would allow the end user to get a replacement, even if the phone is out of warranty. However, if you take away their ability to perform a class action lawsuit, Google could screw you over even within warranty, and there's not really much that you as a consumer are going to be able to do about it. This is why forced arbitration is a horrible thing. Every single one of these times that Apple has not been able to get away with screwing a customer, whether we're talking about keyboards, graphics chips, phones with no service, phones where the touchscreen doesn't work on it, or any other of the numerous times that they have had an engineering failure that they have not taken accountability or responsibility for, this is the vehicle by which you hold them accountable. And taking this vehicle away from people means that corporations are going to be held less accountable. And I don't think that's a good thing. And I don't like the fact that every single company nowadays, whether it is your television provider, your refrigerator provider, your hosting provider, your cell phone provider, thinks that it's okay to take away the one means that you have to hold them accountable and responsible in a serious way. Because you could complain to, like, your licensing agency in your state or something like that. But at the end of the day, like, let's be real. How many people have actually gotten responses as a result of doing that? I've tried it before. Hint, they don't care. This is one of the ways that you can actually hold them accountable. Put them in front of a jury and see how they vote. Have them explain themselves to a jury of your peers. This is how you hold these types of companies accountable. And it's becoming more and more commonplace that more and more companies are taking away your right to hold them accountable. If I make these types of mistakes and I screw over my customers, they have the ability and the vehicle to hold me accountable. I can't get away with this shit, but for some reason, Google and LG and Roku and every other company nowadays thinks that they can. Why? Why should these companies be able to play by a different set of rules than you or I? I have no problem with there being a set of rules. I have to play by a set of rules whether I'm in New York or even in Texas. But what I want is to play by the same rules as everybody else. And if they're allowed to say, hey, we can sell you broken shit that's defective, we can have a breach in data, you just gotta fucking deal with it. No, I don't want to buy products under these terms. And I don't think you should either. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. Oh, lastly, before I end the video, do check out the Matrix space down below. I do have a Matrix link, but it's not used very much, but I do. Also, shout out watching the Monsters vs. Aliens TV show on Nickelodeon.
And if you want us to watch more of this or other DreamWorks shows, comment them down below and get this video to 10,000 likes.
If you guys want to watch the full commentary of this video, head over to patreon.com/let them know. And if you want Fox to come over and play with your jellies, subscribe.
These Oscars is worth the unidentified flying object prize.
Look at her. Well, she looks so bad. What the fuck? She looks so awful in comparison to the other characters, like genuinely.
It's absorbing your quotidian.
And you think this show has like a plot that builds over the course of the whole season, like it's super climactic, like there's an overarching narrative and everything that unfolds as you watch.
Yeah, people like assert like Avatar: The Last Airbender just starting like cartoons and like they're convenient storylines, but it was actually Monsters vs. Aliens, the show, dude.
This bullet turned this as bullets.
It's crazy how none of the other voice actors like wanted to be in the show, but they actually got more than that. That would be crazy.
It's a bullet.
Well, we see like pros.
Do you think she gets like a female colonoscopy?
Like they look at her ball.
Yeah, so why do you have to specify if it's female? Can't you just have a normal colonoscopy? This is a 20-minute long episode.
It's not even 24 minutes.
Why is this not a 10-minute long episode? Just like make the suffering end faster. You just don't get it.
Guess what? It's my birthday.
Birthday random low bassoon. No, what
You got a real problem with that necromancer being there. They don't even know. He ain't very far away either. He won already.
real soon.
No, sir. Listen, you've been warned, all right? You've been warned. Listen, all of you listen. All of you listen. I am here to say
Well, guys, I've tried, and for some reason, every time I load up GTA 4 on my laptop screen, all the time the FPS here doesn't at all try to strike anything much higher than that. I was having a mind to really sacrifice these settings to see if I can try to get the game to touch the frame rate that I really wish to, like, for it to be higher than 60. Let's see, I lowered it and frame rate results are unsurprising. Which means I may have to again, you I may have to again stop the game just to switch to an external screen for the game to flow through the dedicated GPU. Like, it detects the dedicated, but yeah, for some reason, I have to have it really, for some reason I have to have the game on such low settings just to see about getting the frame rate to be at 60 or higher. Because the built-in laptop screen, it is definitely able to do, up to 144
You remember a
frames.
fact, man?
So I'm just trying to see what I can do to try to achieve that. Let's see here, let's see here. Sorry that the very gameplay resolutions may not entirely fit the stream here. I just trying to see what resolution I could try to do to get the game. Like right now it's raining, and as you see here, right now I made with these current settings, I'm now pushing like over a little bit 70, which is good. But look what I have to sacrifice because how finicky the game is. Let's see here. But yet if I enable anything to give shadows, that's where it tanks. So by adding a little bit of realism, the frame rate tanks. Like, right now the game is seeming like really smooth now. But the cost is that there's no shadows at all. And yeah, I know the hardware's capable of doing it. I'm even having Vulkan to try to reinforce the game. But right now, it's the way I can try to do to get this game to seem very smooth to me as well in reality. In fact, let's see if I can push the other settings. Like, I'm gonna push the other ones to high, but I'm gonna keep the shadows off. If for some reason, like, I'm gonna keep these down all the way. Shadow filter and just like Cause here, does even little shadows give a cost? Okay. This has gotta be the night shadow sometimes that gives a cost. And no, I don't have a trainer up at all right now. And I don't feel if Roman or any friend calls up, I'm just gonna pick up, but then give it some time and then cancel the plan because I'm not exactly feeling to I'm either playing through the missions to enjoy the story, even though I played through the story a whole bunch of times. I'm just hoping to finally like play more. I do the missions where basically the primary of the game is pretty darn not smooth. Because right now,
Come on, man.
that's why I'm so far seeing that the frame rate is pretty smooth.
Get along.
Okay, I'm gonna alt tab just to see if I can, what things I can close in the background. Oh jeez, I hope this doesn't come to bite me in the butt at a different point, but I'm just gonna have the very resolution like this for now. Let's see, what can I cut from the background? I undoubtedly, if I were to lock the game to just 60 frames, that 60 frames would definitely be like a constant smooth. And that's why I have for a long time always dreamt of to finally, because a lot of times I've always experienced frame rate drops and performance drops, and that stings, especially when you know the hardware is perfectly capable of doing it. Like I should be able to push 1080p and 60 FPS, but yet of course that's a bit more possible if I were to hook an external thing. But if I want to make sure that 60 FPS is always like, always a constant fluid, and I do have like even in the NVIDIA control panel of this game set for its do maximum performance. But I don't know what's the difference between maximum performance and consistent performance. Like, what's the real it? Like, I really should see about if there's a description of that. Okay, now let's see what the like right now I have it at this hertz, but let's see.
You asshole.
I smoke more with this version.
Okay, so like sometimes for some reason like you definitely have the frame rate locked. Like you have the frame rate definitely locked, but for some strange reason the very gameplay just doesn't like it's not seeming to be smooth. But now I'm just going to change from the current res because sure I'm just gonna be a little bit I'm changing the thing right there because I'm gonna shift back to I'm gonna shift back to 720p with this hertz and let's do aspect ratio auto, but and I know there's some text kind of blocking the settings. Let me just but the very goal that I now have in mind is to see if I could like this I see over here, these right here. I like to have all these at high. I don't give a care about these sliders, they can stay all the way down. But the very thing is to either remain at a consistent 60 smooth.
What do you
Oh
want
wow,
from
look
me,
at this.
detective?
I put out 720p and it's acting up like
Yo, I
this.
don't get out of bed for less than 2 keys.
Well, I got the game working now, so I'm just gonna reload the. I'm just gonna have the game. I'm going to have. I'm going to have the game reload up. But when I have it reloaded, I'm just going to. I'm just gonna have it. I'm just gonna have it load up on my TV. But I'm just gonna hopefully try my best to make sure it's like a really actually seeming and actual fluid 60 frames a second. So let me just hook in my TV. My TV is all the time just and my TV is all the time just hooked uh into a certain hub that I got one time. So I just simply plug the hub in and now the very oh shut up about the encoding overloaded. But yeah, now my TV is definitely connected, and because of something's going on, my TV has a slight bit of damaging to it, and not exactly having the funding to get a replacement screen. So I just try my best to ignore it. So I'm going to hit load up on here, and I'm going to see about changing the various settings of seeing what changes happen within the very game. Because I don't know why, but this game a lot of times just acts better when it's always being displayed on a non-laptop screen. The only reason why right now the game is kind of at 24 FPS because for some reason whenever I hook in an external screen and then load up the game after trying out my laptop screen, that's where for some reason the game just automatically for some reason goes for 24 FPS block. So right now the loading screen isn't exactly the smoothest looking. But I'll be changed as soon as I can get into the options. And yes, let's just say that I have both future fix and even a certain other mod that's supposed to really be helping with the load, with the very time it takes to load. Like, it shouldn't take long on SSD. Like some people, like, if I remember, some people just purposely so much enjoy, and I kind of course, like, if I could make sure nothing is, that it doesn't, feel like eternity of blowing up, I wouldn't mind swapping this game to be installed on the hard disk drive that's in this laptop, but currently I have installed to the SSD of this laptop. So the reason why this game is taking as long as it is right now is because currently slowing at whatever speed for it is equivalent to 24 FPS. Let's just say I'm a little bit, I'd be a bit shocked if I alt tabbed and suddenly it just wanted to not respond and, having to reload and all that. I'm sure one thing that could help to speed up the very resolution is by making sure it's set to 1080p, but I don't know if it is, it isn't right now, because I see I, I do have the very live stream, I do have a YouTube. I was at first checking up on Twitch, and I was checking up on YouTube to see how this live stream was looking. And like I said, I haven't live streamed to YouTube in quite some time because I was just like one of my brothers, I was hoping that Twitch would give me a bit more of support. And now I'm just feeling adjusted to live stream to either because I'm not very sure about Kick, and sadly it takes money just to have Restream to give your live stream to more than 2 streaming platforms. So I'm very sorry guys for the very here. Okay, so the good thing is that it seems like it's all good now because the game didn't automatically freeze up as soon as I alt tabbed. Okay, finally it's... I don't know why it does this. Okay, so I'm going to first try... Okay, I'm gonna go first for 720p, and it'd be really ridiculous if I'm gonna go for this, I'll configure that for 720, and then I'm just gonna have you go outside just to see how smooth this is. And I mean, like in here right now, I can tell by each step that Nico makes that it is a full 60 frames. I can really tell. Over time, you kind of just build awareness to it, and if you let all feel like, well, you're sitting in a chair like a bit sluggish or whatever, even though that certain software said oh yes, it's definitely 60 frames, but yet somehow when you're playing it doesn't exactly feel like the consistent one. Okay, so we're at 1080p even though it's a 1080p default, we're running that mixed with 720p, and let's see, I have to take a drive around just to see it, really see it. Let's see it.
Cosmic wind has blown you back into the moat,
I still think this is about any Titanium, and so far there is none.
Graveyard for many animals, and their
Nico,
spirits.
it went down with those guys in Bohan. Elizabeth's doing a bid. She might have killed Manny.
Really?
Good thing you haven't been hanging around with them too much. The shit is fucked up. I'm sorry for getting you involved.
Don't worry about it. You've got enough on your plate looking after Roman. See you soon.
Then they go to an offshore spirit world where it's always
I don't know why
warm.
this game has this
I
tantrums when I try to get it to display on my laptop display that's capable
or a toy or something when you were younger.
It's definitely
Meant a lot
capable
to
for
us.
but I'm wondering why people have not tried to give this
You
game,
carried this teddy bear around to
seeing how
show
this
people
game
where the
likes
bad
to
woman touched
do
you.
with,
I don't
with laptops.
No, you don't
When you're
think
not
so
displaying
because
an
you are
external
living
screen.
a terrible
Because when
lie.
you're displaying
Even
on the
you do
personal
not know.
laptop screen, for
This
some
is
reason
because
it's always
you are
like
a man. You are a
you know,
man,
the
and
laptop
inside your
itself is
spirit
always
is
like
very
connected to
upset that you were
the
circumcised,
like a
and you have been
different
trying
kind
to go
of
back
GPU
to
that is
that day.
This is
dedicated on the game
absurd! I'm
laptop,
not a man!
and
I
it
am
gets me
breast!
wondering
You are
like
self-conscious
if
about
it's
these
even possible to try
breasts?
to
Well,
reroute the
yeah.
very
You see,
you know,
I now
floating
see
laptop
because
display to
I
the
see.
dedicated
This is not
GPU,
absurd.
because then
It
you
is
wouldn't really have
absurd
issues
because it has
with
not happened
old
yet.
games.
Is
But then
tomorrow
again,
absurd?
GT4 is the only
Do
one
not
that I have
scoff
issue
at the
with.
future.
With
It
Saints
will
Row
be your
2, I
past
don't
today,
exactly think I
not
have this
tomorrow.
issue
You
with
will be a
like
man.
the
I
game
want you
having
to
issues with
enter an
performing
altered
well
state
and,
tonight,
you know,
and
depending
all
on
will
which GPU
begin
is
to
going
come
through.
into focus.
Okay, so now we have. Actually, another part is FPS testing is seeing power levels on the bridge. And okay, so this is at 720p. Let's boost it up to 1080. If there's any kind of odd issues at all with, you know, with the game with being 1080p with, oh yeah, I see it. Oh yes. Oh, why does Mineral does this game with this laptop have issues with 720p when the very GPU in here would definitely be able to handle it. Like with GTA 5 I have no issues whatsoever. But for GTA 4 I always have to have it lower than 1080p sometimes just to make sure that it's smooth. Okay, so now let's see if we can bump it up to max. I'm not gonna touch these if yet.
Come along now.
Okay, so gonna read auto configure, gonna put it back down to there. Yeah, I can notice now that even though so I'm using the default settings of 1080p and 720p, and I'm definitely noticing that it's just smooth, just noticeably smooth now. Okay, I just saw at the FPS part that there was a little bit of a frame dip, but it seems to be going back. And keep in mind, I'm also using graphics development, which is it's quite a possible making sure that GTA 4 here performs as it really performs as as great as it can. Because then again, I think the best result I've always gotten was when GTA 4 was being recorded live streamed. I just don't know why it just seems like a sad curse or whatever. Every time I record a live stream and for some reason the frame rate is impacted, and I don't get the same reaction with I didn't get the same reaction with any of the official definitive trilogy, or even just when I made the videos of the original trilogy with mods that made it Family Master. That it didn't really have issues. And why is this 4 out of the whole entire Brother Girl series that has an issue? Like the other thing too is that with Grand Theft Auto 4, like and of course, like some people with the PC version, they get the control and all that, and they literally just, they just thought that what the possible settings would be for certain consoles, and they just and of course, by having the game set for what the PS3 or Xbox 360 is, of course the game is going to really perform well because
I've got places to be over here.
and yes, by even that being set for worldwide, the game is not supposed to have protective gloves on, as opposed to really use resources. But yeah, I keep on seeing the FPS here. Alright, let's really see if it's a view and detail sliders. As soon as I put those sliders down, it's now not having an issue. So the question is, can I bump everything up? And if it's just an issue with the view and distance sliders, then it's not the fault of DXBK, it's that... Okay, now I'm gonna pull another text. Okay, 1080p, but I'll go for max out except for these sliders. I'm gonna leave the sliders alone. Oh yeah. I do not know why the game is behaving like this. Like, you guys are definitely, able to see Patrol 4, better now. But yet, for some strange reason, like, I both hit, by both the, if I turn this, like, I was only having that on just because of having a laptop screen. But now on an external screen, I have it set here, and GJ4, like, the only time that GJ4 was not having an issue was when it was at 720p. But yeah, I don't really get how other gameplay live streamers don't have issues here. Or is that GJ4 just having issues with gaming laptops? Because now I bumped it back on the 7.2 and it's still giving me this. Man, I was really hoping that night shells would just be fixed up. Okay, 720p defaults. 720p defaults, and the game is, yes, it's not having issues. But it's pretty sad if the, very, game here, if it's just having just pure issues with being played on, not only being played on a laptop, but as well that it's, having issues with nutshell. Like, I was really hoping that, and I even said already, and it's sort of like major, like, either on YouTube or some community, but that's the sad community says close to nutshell, but so far I can tell, with this, night shells are off and the game's pretty nice. With the night shells on, I don't know if PCSS would help. Now I don't know if it's Japan the very area, but now the game is playing a little bit nicer now. Let me just, instead of endlessly wondering, let's just get down to a mission before Roman or some trying to make the calls. But I did make sure that DXBK has a certain topic file, and out of every topic file, I ran out so many things set up for it. And I do believe it, every time GTA 4 loads up and all that, that it forces the game to not only read the dedicated GPU's VRAM, but it's supposed to be also like correctly trying to read the RAM, correctly try to, and just in case if the game ever thought that GXBK would be doing things that would give them, that would give this game they get some kind of other GPU, and to, you know, not to, you know, go more than just, okay, I don't know what the best term would be, but I guess, you know, because according to the very content file for GXBK, it seems like for some old games that whenever GXBK is, you know, trying to handle the certain DirectX calls to Vulkan, that for some reason the game would think it's some kind of Intel GPU doing it. And thus, then you would have to make sure to enable a certain thing within the config for the thing to do its best to make sure the game thinks, oh, it's some kind of dedicated NVIDIA GPU that we know of. Let's, you know, not, you know, not give it so much of a, you know, like give it the proper kind of thing. But I don't know if that's me having to play around with things for it to finally work the way I wish it to, or something else.
Yeah.
Oh, it's you. You alone?
Yeah, how you doing?
Fucking great. What you think?
Yeah, it's hard living with the past, huh?
Yeah, especially when the present's turned into an asshole. Psh, fucking bitch. Nobody wants to roll with me no more. It's like I'm tainted.
What do you mean?
Playboy don't want to hang no more. He pays for you to come over instead. My girlfriend, the love of my fucking life. Man, I was pulling moves in the joint so this bitch could pay rent. Now she won't answer the phone. Man, I gave her everything when I was inside. Cars, houses, apartments, bank accounts, everything. I heard she hanging with Javon now.
Who?
Some punk who fucking talked. Swears he wasn't involved in me going down, but I knew his ass was lying. Now motherfuckers fucking my girl? For real? She's fucked up, man. Sometimes I just want to end this shit. Just bang. But I ain't there yet. Not quite.
Listen, why don't you go talk to her?
Psh, ain't shit to say.
Then I'll go speak to both of them. They'll ask for your money back, and if they don't agree, I'll make them. Where did they hang out?
At some arcade in Chinatown. Look, man, don't bother.
No, I'll bother. I'm getting paid. Besides, you remind me of me.
Uh-huh.
Hey, gringo. You know I've been wrestling down lately.
What do you want from me, detective?
¿Qué?
I'm telling you, that gato's fucking the man.
Hey, baby, bring that ass over here.
I'm not some dirty South video, Gucci.
So guys, after this mission, I'm going to then be closing the game, but I'm going to reopen it, and instead of having like my TV hooked up to through the display hub, I'm going to have it directly connected to the HDMI port with it on my gaming laptop to see if, you know, there's a difference between USB-C or the HDMI port. Because for quite some time, I've always thought that somehow the HDMI port was basically, you know, like both the integrated and dedicated, you know, GPU that's kind of sharing the same, you know, outputs. And then the USB-C port just, you know, gave a more clear understanding for them to use a dedicated GPU. Actually, let's see if there's a, let's see. Okay, I'm hooking the cooling fan line instead of a USB, you know, hub. I'm, you know, hooking the very, I hooked the cooling pad fans from the USB hub. Like, I also have a USB hub connected, and I just disconnected from that hub to just a really open port that I usually have hooked into. But sometimes I also use a port for my PSP hub. And I would like to do more live streams with my PSP hub, but the really thing with that is since my main go-to for myself now is this gaming laptop, is I don't exactly have the very right way to either my analog, like I still have to use analog for having audio to come out of a Bluetooth adapter. Sadly, it's like playing digital audio from the PSP top, but I don't exactly have a way of getting that audio clearly to you guys without using a method of converting such audio to USB audio. Yeah, it seems like the view and draw distance for the time being has, you know, done a better fix for the performance.
Hey, are you the two snakes who played Dwayne Forge when he was in the joint? He wants his money.
What? Dwayne must have finished his bid. Shit. He gonna be mad angry.
Me, I go bust ya.
But wait a minute, no, I don't really think I have to close the game up this time because I restart it and
Dwayne don't need to worry about
playing
having
the
that
close
girl's
here, right?
blood on his hands on top of everything else.
I always don't kill her because she has the reason to die for this certain situation at all. I'm just gonna do my best to chase after the guy. But yeah, I don't think that there would be a point for me switching from displaying of the USB-C jack, hub that I have that would, where my TV is connected to the HDMI port there, to the HDMI port that my game laptop has. And some are made question like, why are you, doing such a way as be, and well, I was.
Whatever.